This conference will now be recorded.
To maintain URL and credentials, we'll maintain a file called properties file. So people in real time, people will maintain properties file. How to create a properties file? We have to create a property file with extension what dot properties. Here in your project, you can create properties file like this. How we are creating a folder, same like on project you can create, or else create a folder. In that folder create a file based on your convenience, right? So go to the new option, take file, and here give file name, any file name, config. I'm giving config dot properties. You have to give the extension what properties. Now system can consider this is a properties file, your file name dot properties file. How can you read properties file data? To read property file data, in Java, we have a special class. What the special class? Properties. What is the class name? Properties. We have to create a class of object of properties class. Before that, you have to load your file to Java. Nothing but your program. By using what? File input stream. Input. Nothing but this is you have to give your file as an input to your program. File input stream inside your program, right? And you have to create object of properties. After that, so in properties class, there is a method called load. You have to load your file. After that, you can read data of properties file. For reading data, what is the method we are using? Team get property. Get property is a method to read data from property file. What the get property method is asking, what is the parameter for get property? Get property, the parameter is you have to pass a key. Key is a parameter. You have to pass a key as a string. If you pass key, it will return value. What is that value? In property file, data stored into key and value pairs. Yes, sir. This is the key equals to value pair, and both are considering as a string. So if you pass get property method for your key as a string, it will return value as a string. I'm calling get property, passing QA URL, environment URL. It will return string value as a string, and I'm storing it. I'm passing to my get method. So if you pass a get method, it will enter URL on open browser. That's how we can read data from property file. After that, even we can write data from to property file. How to writing? Again, so you have to call a method call. You have to create object for a class file output stream. On file output stream, after calling, you have to pass file path here. For file input stream and file output stream, you have to pass your file path where the file is. What is the location of your file? As of now, I'm maintaining in project level, right? So I'm passing my file path by my file input stream at the time of reading, and for my file output stream at the time of writing, right? So, and then you have to call method to write a data. What is the method? Set a property. Now this time we are setting a property. For by the time of setting property, you have to pass two parameters. What the two parameters? First one is key and second one is value. Data how the data is saving team, key and value pairs, right? You have to pass first writing. At the time of writing, you have to pass key and value as well. After setting your data, and you have to store it. Store, there is a method in property file again, store method. For that store method, so you have to pass file output stream. Which stream you want to store? This stream, file output. For file output, you have to pass your file path. Clear team? Only one class. Remember here, more important one, properties class. After that, load. If you want to write, set property and then store. That's it. Here mostly people will maintain URL in properties file. Okay, so based on your requirement, so you can change your URL in where, not in a code, not in a class. You have to change your URL at where config.properties. Creating now. This is about properties file. And now let me discuss about reading data from Excel file. Right? See, where we maintain team data, if you are going manually, right? So how you execute your test cases, manual test cases, anyway will maintain test case in Excel sheet, right? So what the Excel sheet template contain? Serial number, nothing but test flow number, right? Description, right? And credentials, and then test data. Here, the test data you are maintaining where, in manual testing, functional testing you are maintaining in Excel sheet. Then, so first of all, what is the test strategy? To execute your test case, to execute your test case, what the input you are giving, that is the test data, right? So in manually we'll maintain in Excel sheet, right? So by the time of executing your test cases manually, you take from Excel sheet and enter into enter whatever the browser or whatever the application you are using, right? So here in automation, test data plays major role. Test data, where you will maintain this test data, from where Selenium get this test data. In real time, mostly people will maintain in Excel sheet. So from Excel sheet only they'll read data. So in Selenium, directly you cannot read data from Excel sheet. In Selenium, anyway, if you want to enter the data from by using Selenium, it's not possible. Where you can get the data. So suppose I'm having 100 users. So I have to check whether these 100 users are logging into my application or not. These 100 users usernames and password where you can store. Directly, I cannot hard code it, right? See here, in this login test, I'm giving here my username, password, hard coding. This is work for only this user. Let's consider there are 100 users. For 100 users, you have to hard code this username and password. You have to hard code it. Here, instead of hard coding, I have to get username and password from a file. A file nothing but here we mostly the flexible file is Excel sheet. We have to get from Excel sheet. So in real time, people will maintain the data in Excel sheet. Suppose if I maintain from Excel sheet here, if I maintain Excel sheet like this, here I have to maintain here. So application user serial number, username and password is here. This is username, this is the password. From here only, I have to read data to my test case. This is the real time, and your data should be again a dynamic. Every time to test case, read data from Excel file. In Excel file, you can maintain any data from the Excel file. You have to read data from the Excel file only. You have to supply data whatever test case required. Clear? And let's see how to take Excel sheet here and data. That is also you have to maintain in project level team. Everything should be in project level. In project level only you have to maintain your test data. Clear? Now, here where we can maintain test data. In my project level, I'm creating a folder. In real time only the people will maintain like this one team. So let me create a folder. A folder name is test data folder. Let me finish it. Right? Observe team. So it is in my project. Under my project, I'm having some packages and I have added this Selenium libraries and common cyber library for file details, and then uh, test output folder, right? So which is generating test ng and screenshot, maintaining screenshot and config dot properties for URL maintenance, and this is a test data to maintain our test data. Okay, so go to this test data properties and click here. It will maintain. It will open your test data. See, this is my project. Under this test data folder, let me create a Excel sheet. Microsoft Excel. Now, what is my file name team? Let me give same test data, or you can give any name. Test data. As of now, I'm giving test data sheet. Okay. So observe team. What is this extension? If I create Excel file, what is this extension? Dot XLS. Excel sheet extension is dot XLS. Uh, so what is the extension name? The Excel file extension is if I create, so it will give you your file name dot XLSX. Remember team, dot your file name dot XLSX. Earlier it will be XLXX. XLX. So now it will be XLSX. 1 second. Ready. Here, to read data from Excel sheet in Java and Selenium, we don't have it directly to any classes, any methods. For that, we have to use the external jar file called Apache Py API. This is API from Apache. Apache is organization team. So Apache organization created a jar files. We have nothing but we are calling as API. So nothing but jar files. Apache organization is prepared one API. The API we are calling as Py API. Apache Py API. right? So by using this POI API, we can read data from Excel file and even we can write data into Excel. Clear? Now for that, you have to download here Apache POI API. Download Apache POI. Go to this download releases Apache POI. Here you will get so Apache POI libraries. This is updated in 20th October. So Apache POI 4.1.1 zip, right? So and you have to download this bin zip. Second one, the binary dissection. Second one, you should not use star zip. And for Windows, we have to use Apache POI 4.1. This is the version name, and this is zip bin zip, right? So let's download this bin zip. This is the suggested one. Now you will get a zip file like this. Okay, team. So already I have in my directory. Just go to the D drive inside the jars. I think I have this Apache city, Apache POI bin. So just download it. You will get a zip file like this. After zip file, extract the zip file. You will get a folder. Inside a folder, you will get this jar file. Now, if you want to use into your project, as of now, let me add. How we added Selenium, how we add Commons IO. Same. Build path, configure build path, add external jars, and go to the folder where I am entering inside a jars. What is the file name? PyBinzip, right? So add first these external jars and open, and then go again. OXML again add whatever the jar files you are having. Just add all jar files, right? So let me check. I'm having any jar files here inside lib also. I'm having some jar files. Add all jar files and apply and close. Now you will get under reference library. Now you will get files also. Okay, this is examples, excellent, OXML, OXML, POI. These are all coming from POI team. Okay. Now, after adding a jar files, you have to create. You have to create one class object. Here, before reading your data, better let me take a special class here. Take a class. Reading data from Excel file, or else I can call like Excel reader. This is a class which can read Excel. Okay, let me take a method. Right, this is the test case. We give the annotation and thread test, capital T. Input it from where team? Input it from test engine. Input it from org test engine annotation. Right? See here. First of all, Excel sheet, it is considering as the Excel sheet is considering as a workbook. In programming language, this is considering as a workbook. So first of all, for, for reading and writing data to Excel file from Excel file, so you have to create a class called workbook. So here for this extension, what is the file extension name or file extension what? XLSR, right? XLS X. This is the file extension. For loading this, for converting this Excel file into workbook, so we have a class called in Apache Py workbook. Workbook. Observing workbook from where? Workbook, workbook, and this is the Excel. I think XHSF workbook. XHSF. SSF. Yeah, XSSF workbook. Observing. There is a class called XSSF workbook. From where? ORG Apache Py. Now create object of workbook for workbook. Workbook equals to new save XSSF workbook. See here, XSSF workbook. So what is asking team? XSSF workbook. It is asking file object. So how to get a file here? So directly you can pass or path. Better to give file here. In Java we have a file, right? File equals to new file class object. So what is the file class object? Asking your file path, your Excel file path. Now this time pass file path where I'm maintaining my Excel file team inside my project. So where am my project? Right click, properties. So right click, properties. This one, okay. Test data. Okay, test data, properties. Go to the test data, right? So this is my file. If you want to know the path theme, so directly you can copy from here. Directly you can copy from here, or else so whatever the path you want to get it, whatever the file path you want to get it, so the file drag into this run. How to open run? So inside search, open run. So inside this run, just drag this file and it will give you file path with extension. Okay, this is my file extension. Here team, just go to the search and type run and enter. You will get this run pop-up. Inside this run pop-up, whatever the file path you want to get, just drag that file. You will get entire file path, including extension. Remember team, whenever you are giving file path, you have to give extension also, file extension, whether it may be Java file or exe file or property file or Excel file. Here, let me give file. Now again pass this file to my work. Okay, now it will ask me throw declaration. So just give throw declaration. Now I have created work in programmatically. So again, inside my workbook, after creating programmatically, again see here, let me open my sheet here. So if I open the sheet, nothing but workbook. See here, you from now you have to consider this is all a workbook and workbook contain sheets here. This is sheet one. So if you press this one, you will get sheet two. The entire Excel we are calling as a workbook and workbook contain sheet one, sheet two, sheet three like this. Clear? Now programmatically, even you have to create a sheet. Access workbook dot you have to get sheet. Now here, what did you asking team? Sheet string sheet index, right? So you can use anything, sheet name. If you have sheet having a name, use name. If a sheet having index number, use index. Sheet index or get sheet at, right? Let me use what is the index number first sheet. If I want to get first sheet, use 0, right? Nothing but first index number. Now get sheet returning what team? Get sheet returning method sheet returning excess of sheet and store it into x SSF SSF sheet. Okay. Now after that, now we are going to the sheet. First of all, go to the work, get the workbook and enter the workbook. In that workbook, first get first sheet, right? Inside my first sheet, observe inside my first sheet object dot get row. Go to the row. Which row you want to go, right? So observe as of now I'm giving first row, nothing but index number 0 because I'm maintaining data at first row. If you are maintaining data at first row, let me give this username to you. So username. So what is my username? This is my username. So go to here, give me username here. This is my username, first one. In my first cell, maintaining username, and my second cell, let me maintain a password. Here I am maintaining password, username and password. Now observe here, I have created workbook, right? I have created a workbook and again I have created a sheet. On sheet, I have called a method called, sorry, on workbook, I have called a method called get sheet. It will return sheet, store it into sheet. On sheet, call a method called get row. Get row return what team? Get row return again it return x SSF sheet. Sorry, XSF row here again. So store it into row. Now you will get a entire row. On row, on row, from which cell you want to read the data. On row object, on row reference, get cell. Call method what team? Get cell. See here, get cell. Get cell asking what? Index number. Give the index number 0, nothing but first cell. Now it will return again cell class reference. Again, we have a class called cell team. Observe what this get cell returning. Get cell returning XSF cell again. X SSF cell. Store it into the class. Now object name I'm giving cell as. Okay, team. Let me import this one. XSF cell. This capital case. Okay. And now you got a cell object. On cell class, what you want to do? I want to get the data from that cell. First cell, right? So in the cell class, on object reference, so what it is saying, the method is called, see here, get cell formula, get cell comment, get cell type, get cell boolean, get cell value, get cell error, right? Get string cell value. You want to get the data from a cell. If it is a string, use the get string value. If it is number, see here, get numeric cell value. Creating. So based on the data, you can get the data by using the cell class methods. Inside your cell class methods, there is a method called get string cell value, get numeric cell value. Okay, as of now, let me use get the string cell value. Now, what is my get string cell value returning thing? String. Now, let me store it into string. So what it is returning? This is the first one, right? This is returning username. Now, After that, let me print as of now for understanding purpose whether we are able to read this or not. The double quotes, use the username and the data what I'm getting. Okay. So file, workbook, and workbook, get sheet, storing into sheet, on sheet, calling row, storing into row, and get cell, on cell, storing into get CSS cell, on cell, calling get string cell value, observing whether I am able to get it or not, and later we'll apply to our test case. Run as test engine. Now it got executed. Observing. I am getting user. Clear? Simple team. First of all, so you have to create a class. What the class? Object. What is the class? Access a workbook. Nothing but this is considering entire. This is considering as a workbook. So after creating a workbook class object on workbook class, you have to call a method get sheet. Now it will return the entire sheet. Which sheet you want to get? You have to supply either sheet name if it is having sheet name or index number. As of now, I'm not having any sheet name, right? Even you can give a sheet name to data 2 like this data 2. Even you can maintain like this. Okay, sheet name. So by the calling get sheet, even you can supply this is a overloaded method. Get sheet is a overloaded method. Even you can supply index number or your sheet name. And as of now, I'm giving zero index. Zero index nothing but first sheet. So it will get entire sheet. I'm storing into access of sheet. On access of sheet class, I'm calling method what get row. On this first sheet using zero index, right? On this first sheet, get first row. It will get entire the first row, right? And store it into access of row. Now on that row class, I'm calling method what get cell. By the time of calling get cell, what the get cell method asking index number. What the cell you want to get? I want to get first cell, and if you want to get the first cell and use the index number what? It is asking index number what? 0. If you supply 0, it will return what? First cell. On first cell, what the data you want to get, what the type of data you want to get. I want to get string data. Now for that, so you are having a method called get string cell value on where cell class. Now you can store it into string. Now you are able to use the string cell value. Clear team? And now same let me call. Now I'm having username only. Let me call my password. How to call the password team? Again, on top of row here, anyway, I'm having entered the row, right? So on top of row here, let me call my username, right? So row dot get, what is the method team? Get string cell value. Row get, sorry, cell, right? So first of all, row, and then on row get cell. So it will return cell. You have to pass index. Now this time what is my cell index? You have to pass 1 because this is the second cell, right? Now it will return a cell. This is return cell and store it into XSSF cell. XSSF cell. So this time this is cell 2, right? On cell 2, call what team? On cell 2, call get. So if you want to get the data, so you are having get string cell value or get cell numeric value, right? This time it's a numeric, right? This is the number. Even you can get numeric value. So what my get numeric value method returning team? It is returning double. If it is returning double, I can store it into double. So this is a password, right? So let me give system.println. So this is a password, right? So let me give this password here. Now execute. See here. This is my username and this is a password. Clear team? And double, how it is getting double team? 1.2.3 something. So if you want to avoid this thing, so in Excel data, see this numeric cell value you can convert into string like this. Before the data starting here, is a single colon converted this like this string. Observe, it is got converted to string. Observe. So before starting the your number, so place this single colon. Now it will convert into string. So if it is string, I can store it into string to avoid this type of issues, and people will maintain all the numbers and values as a string only. Now, if you if you call get string say a numeric value, you will get the value as this integral number. To avoid this one, use the same method. What is the method team? Get, excuse me, team. Get string cell value instead of get numeric value, get string cell value. And this time it will return string, right? Now, again, I'm storing into string. String username, string password. Observing earlier, I'm writing 1.2.3 like that, right? Now observe this time. Let me save it my file. Now execute. Now observe the output. Observe the output in. Have you differentiate earlier output and this sum output? Earlier I'm getting 1.2.3 like that. So if you're using this get numeric cell value, obviously you cannot log into your application. So we have to get a number, right? Actual value. For that, you have to use string. So number, how can you convert a number as a string in Excel? Before starting of your number, just give a single colon. Yeah, just give single semicolon. Now your number converting into data, nothing but string. Right? Now, here same thing applying to my test case. Right? So where I am using this test case, observe here, copy the entire thing, go to this login test, or else to read date, enter this thing, copy this thing. So this is right. Let me copy this entire thing and accelerator, go to the accelerator here, paste it, right? See here. So URL I'm getting from properties file, right? And then system set property. This is also we have to shoot dynamic. We'll do dynamic this one. And this URL creating from where team, properties team. After that, property file. After that, maximizing, right? Now get username and password from Excel sheet. Here we have to supply data from Excel sheet. Now observe, enter this code, place it here, where team here. Now file object, workbook object, sheet object, row object, cell object, calling username, right? And calling password, right? See here. Now you are having username, now you are having password. And supply username here, where inside my send keys, supply username. This is time username getting from where team, getting from get string cell value, getting from Excel data. Now the password, apply a password here into my send case. right? Now this time password coming from where? Excel sheet. Clear? And verification point, and then taking a screenshot, right? So this is from where team application system.println, and then store it into property file, and then quitting. In this test case, what we are having team, I'm getting this URL from where? Property file. After that, launching browser. After that, so reading data from Excel file, password, username and password, username supplying and password supplying, right? And then taking a screenshot, right? And then writing my username into property file, and then quitting the browser. Clear team, no confusions, right? So observe. Let me execute the entire the test case. So first of all, here in the proper config file, let me remove this one. So because now this time also it will write, right? Let me remove this entire thing. So let me maintain only the URL. Now screenshot, under my screenshot folder, I'm having a screenshot. Yes or no? See, under screenshot, I'm having the screenshot. Let me remove the screenshot. Now it will give you one more screenshot, right? Now let me execute this one, enter the thing, run as test test. Even if you want to execute, you can execute from Excel file also. Launching browser, entering URL, maximum window, and enter username, password, click on sign in, login, verification point, taking screenshot. Okay. Now my test case got passed. Observe team, this time I have read my URL from property file, read my username and password from Excel file, and even observe here, I'm having a screenshot here. So observe, I'm having a screenshot into my WebDriver, screenshot, see here, screenshot also got captured. This is a screenshot. Clear? And observe my config file. See, after login, my username got captured, right? User something. Okay. My username got captured. Reading file. Right? This is how you have to give the dynamically username and password, and you have to get URL from config file, and you have to capture screenshot. Okay. Let me know if you have any doubts. So let me give this entire thing. This is the code team. Just copy and paste. Before that, add Apache Py libraries. Okay. So add Apache Py libraries, import Excel workbook, Excel sheet, Excel row, Excel cell, and then execute your test case. Okay. So that's all for the day. Thank you. Thank you, team.